Let's go now to St. Louis and say hello to activist Terry Marshall. Thank you for joining us here on France 24. First of all, your reaction, you heard in that report the mayor of St. Louis saying violence doesn't solve anything.
My reaction to that report is I hope that the mayor would direct that at the police forces themselves. They do not seem to understand that statement that the mayor made.
Terry, tell me a little bit about your personal experience last night in compared to the riots we saw back in August.
My experience last night, first of all, I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts. I've been coming down as the service of the local leaders in Ferguson and St. Louis to help assist in training people in nonviolent direct action and also training people in getting their messages out clear to understand the injustice that's been happening to people down here. Last night, I've been staying in the south side of St. Louis in the Shaw area where Von Derek Myers was killed back in October. And what I experienced was roughly about 200 people at first marching up and down, exercising their rights, protesting against the non-decision that happened. And largely it was calm and peaceful. About more people came out, about 500 people. And then people did what they said that they've been planning to do for months now, as they've been going through numerous trainings of exercising militant, non-violent direct action, and people took over a highway. They wanted to disrupt business as usual to let it be known that if justice will not be served, then business as usual will not be served. And they took over a highway, and the police eventually came out with heavy riot gear, came out with heavy response, and once the police showed up, people calmly and nonviolently just got off the highway, marched back down Shaw Boulevard down here in South City.
Terry, let me ask you, because they've released, as you know, the testimony that was submitted by those dozens of eyewitnesses to the grand jury. Testimony contradictory at times. We certainly haven't had time to pore over the fine print of that testimony yet, but do you think there's a possibility that the grand jury may have got it right?
I think that given the evidence that we just know generally, that there should at least been a trial. That's all people demanded for. We were asking for a trial. This was not even a final decision or anything. There should be a trial. Just given what we know, any normal human being would say that there should be a trial. I think exactly what you said. You're a news service organization. You haven't had time to pour over all the information. I just feel that the way they dumped information on us is just a tactic of just bombard us with information. Information doesn't necessarily mean the truth. Information does, you give numbers, statistics, all this different stuff. You just dump information doesn't mean what you can pull for the understanding of it. And so I haven't got a chance to look at the testimony itself. It just happened all last night. But that doesn't mean, because they let loose that, doesn't mean then maybe this proves that Darren Wilson was absolutely innocent what's going on. There should have been a trial. There should have been a trial, and it should have been handled that way.
Terry, in a moment, we're going to be hearing from the parents of that black teenager, the family of that black teenager who was shot back in August. What are you expecting after those remarks? Are you yourself braced for more rioting? Should there be more protests? What are your thoughts on that?
What I'm bracing myself for, what everyone I know around me and what I've seen, is people practicing what we've called deep abiding love. With many people, hundreds of people have gone through these nonviolent direct action trainings, and that's what they was taught, to practice deep abiding love through focusing their anger by militant nonviolent direct action. What happened last night was simply that in the area that I was in Southside of St. Louis, people blocked highways, people blocked intersections, exercising their rights. When the police came, they did disperse, because this is what they wanted to do. And this morning, people were still doing that in Clayton. I don't know if the news services here have been necessarily showing that, but people shutting down streets non-violently, very effectively. I'm expecting much more of that. What I'm also expecting, what I've seen from the police, is themselves just violating agreements that they made. They were raiding safe spaces, that they made agreements with the local coalitions down here. I was staying in a place outside Mocha Bee's Cafe, which was agreed upon safe space. And the police came back after people had already done with their protest last night in South City. They came back with a tank and threw out smoke bombs and tear gas and started tear gassing people and trapped people inside Mocha Bees. And people had to negotiate a way out. They came about 2 busloads of riot police. The police themselves need to show restraint. People have been practicing deep abiding love by militantly disrupting business as usual and going along with agreements that they made with the police. The police have
Police have to show restraint. Terry Marshall, I want to thank you so much for joining us from St. Louis.
Thank you so much for allowing me this opportunity.